The mink is a creature shaped by margins, by boundaries where land dissolves into water and silence becomes a weapon. Neither fully terrestrial nor truly aquatic, it exists in a world of reeds, riverbanks, frozen streams, and shadowed shorelines, moving through these environments with an ease that suggests long evolutionary refinement. To encounter a mink in the wild is rare not because it is scarce, but because it has mastered the art of remaining unseen. From an evolutionary perspective, the mink belongs to a lineage of carnivorous mammals that prioritized adaptability over specialization. Its ancestors emerged in environments where fluctuating water levels, seasonal prey availability, and constant predator pressure demanded flexibility. Over time, this pressure sculpted an animal with a long, slender body capable of slipping through narrow gaps, dense vegetation, and underwater tunnels with minimal resistance. The mink's form is not accidental, it is precision embodied. Physically, the mink is compact but powerful. Its elongated torso houses a muscular structure optimized for sudden bursts of speed rather than endurance. Short legs keep its center of gravity low, allowing rapid directional changes during pursuit or escape. Its partially webbed feet reveal its dual nature, functioning efficiently on muddy banks while providing propulsion in water. When swimming, the mink moves with fluid confidence, its body undulating smoothly as it cuts through currents that would exhaust less adapted mammals. The fur of the mink serves multiple purposes beyond insulation. Dense, water-resistant, and layered, it traps air close to the skin, reducing heat loss during prolonged exposure to cold water. This adaptation allows the mink to hunt beneath icy surfaces, navigate frozen streams, and emerge moments later with its body temperature largely preserved. In environments where energy conservation determines survival, such efficiency becomes decisive. Behaviorally, the mink is a study in controlled aggression. Unlike many small mammals that rely primarily on evasion, the mink actively dominates its ecological niche. It is a solitary hunter, intolerant of competition, and highly territorial. Its intelligence is evident in its hunting strategies, which often involve patience, observation, and calculated timing rather than reckless pursuit. The mink does not chase blindly, it waits, watches, and strikes when success is most probable. Its diet reflects this opportunistic mindset. Fish, amphibians, small mammals, birds, crustaceans, nothing within its reach is ignored. The mink's jaw structure and sharp teeth allow it to dispatch prey quickly, minimizing struggle and energy expenditure. It is capable of killing animals nearly its own size, a testament to both its physical capability and psychological dominance. In the wild, hesitation is fatal, the mink has evolved without it. Habitat selection further illustrates the mink's adaptability. Rivers, lakes, marshlands, coastal zones, and even human-altered waterways become viable territories if prey is available and cover is sufficient. The mink constructs dens in riverbanks, hollow logs, or abandoned burrows, often maintaining multiple shelters within its territory. This redundancy ensures survival when flooding, predators, or human disturbances render a single den unusable. Socially, the mink is resolutely solitary. Interaction with others of its kind is limited almost exclusively to mating. This isolation reduces competition for food and minimizes disease transmission, but it also demands heightened self-sufficiency. From an early age, young minks must rapidly acquire hunting skills or perish. There is little room for prolonged dependence in a life defined by constant motion and alertness. As a predator, the mink plays a crucial role in regulating populations of smaller animals, preventing overpopulation and maintaining ecological balance. Its presence signals a healthy, functioning ecosystem where prey species are abundant and waterways remain productive. Conversely, the disappearance of mink populations often indicates environmental degradation, pollution, or unsustainable human activity. Yet despite its efficiency, the mink is not invulnerable. Habitat destruction, water pollution, and historical overexploitation have left lasting marks on certain populations. The introduction of invasive mink species into non-native ecosystems has further complicated conservation efforts, disrupting local wildlife and altering food webs with unintended consequences. Still, the mink endures. Silent, observant, and relentlessly adaptive, it continues to navigate the edges of land and water with the same quiet confidence it has honed over millennia. In its movements, one can read the story of survival not through dominance of size or numbers, but through precision, intelligence, and an unwavering refusal to be seen until it is already too late. As daylight fades and shadows stretch across the water's surface, the mink becomes more than an animal, it becomes a presence. Twilight marks the beginning of its most active hours, a time when visibility decreases and silence grows thicker. In these moments, the mink's senses sharpen. Its hearing detects subtle ripples in water, the faint rustle of reeds, the careless movement of prey unaware that it has already been chosen. The hunting behavior of the mink is defined not by speed alone, but by calculation. It studies patterns, memorizes the routines of prey, and exploits moments of vulnerability. Fish are taken in sudden underwater lunges, pinned with precision against rocks or riverbanks. Amphibians are seized before they can react. Small mammals are ambushed along habitual paths. Birds resting near the water's edge often fall victim to swift, unexpected attacks launched from below. What sets the mink apart from many predators of similar size is its refusal to waste energy. Every movement serves a purpose. Every chase is measured. Failed attempts are quickly abandoned, not out of fear, but efficiency. In ecosystems where caloric balance determines life or death, the mink behaves like a strategist rather than a brute. Its intelligence manifests not only in hunting, but in problem solving. Minks have been observed navigating complex environments, manipulating objects, and learning from repeated experiences. This cognitive flexibility allows them to adapt rapidly to changing conditions, whether seasonal floods, frozen waterways, or shifting prey populations. Few predators of its size demonstrate such mental adaptability. The mink's relationship with water is intimate. It swims not as an occasional necessity, but as a fundamental extension of its existence. Cold currents do not deter it. Ice does not confine it. During winter months, minks continue to hunt beneath frozen surfaces, entering and exiting through holes, breathing pockets, or weak ice zones. This capability grants access to food sources unavailable to less adapted competitors, giving the mink a decisive advantage. Territoriality defines much of the mink's behavior. Each individual claims a stretch of waterway, often several kilometers long, defending it aggressively against intruders. Scent markings communicate boundaries clearly, reducing the need for constant physical confrontation. When conflicts do occur, they are brief and violent, resolved swiftly with little tolerance for prolonged struggle. The mink's den system reflects its restless nature. Rather than relying on a single shelter, it maintains multiple dens throughout its territory. These may be natural cavities, hollow logs, root systems, or abandoned burrows. This network provides safety, flexibility, and escape options, ensuring survival in the face of floods, predators, or human disturbances. Reproduction introduces one of the few moments of social interaction in the mink's otherwise solitary life. Mating occurs during a narrow seasonal window, after which the male departs entirely. Females raise the young alone, selecting dens with optimal concealment and access to food. The kits are born blind and helpless, yet development is rapid. Within weeks, they begin exploring their surroundings. Within months, they are hunting. This accelerated maturation reflects the unforgiving reality of the mink's world. Mortality is high. Mistakes are costly. Only those who learn quickly survive long enough to reproduce. There is no extended adolescence, no prolonged dependency. Independence arrives early, enforced by necessity. Ecologically, the mink occupies a critical position. As a mesopredator, it regulates populations of fish, amphibians, rodents, and birds, preventing ecological imbalances that could cascade through the food web. Its presence maintains diversity, limits overpopulation, and contributes to the overall stability of wetland ecosystems. However, this same efficiency can become disruptive when the mink exists outside its native range. Introduced populations have, in some regions, caused severe declines in local wildlife unprepared for such a capable predator. This duality highlights the delicate balance of ecosystems and the consequences of human interference. Human activity has shaped the mink's story in complex ways. Habitat loss, pollution, and waterway modification have reduced suitable territories in many regions. At the same time, the mink's adaptability has allowed it to persist near human settlements, exploiting altered landscapes while remaining largely invisible. Despite centuries of pressure, the mink endures because it does not rely on dominance through size or numbers. It survives through awareness, adaptability, and restraint. It is a reminder that power in nature often whispers rather than roars, moving unseen along the edges, shaping ecosystems without demanding attention. As seasons shift and landscapes transform, the mink continues its quiet existence along the water's edge, largely unnoticed by the world it influences. Snow may cover the banks, rivers may swell or recede, forests may thin under human pressure, yet the mink adjusts without ceremony. It does not migrate vast distances or gather in groups for protection. Instead, it remains, adapting minute by minute, responding to change with an almost mechanical precision shaped by generations of survival. Threats to the mink rarely arrive suddenly. They accumulate slowly, altering habitats in subtle ways. Polluted waters reduce prey abundance. Channelized rivers eliminate natural banks and hiding places. Wetlands drained for agriculture erase entire territories in silence. Unlike dramatic predators whose decline is immediately visible, the mink fades gradually, its absence noticed only when ecological balance begins to unravel. In some regions, conservation efforts struggle with a paradox. Where the mink is native, it requires protection. Where it has been introduced, it becomes a force of disruption. This contradiction reflects not a flaw in the animal, but in human systems that relocate species without accounting for ecological context. The mink simply does what it has always done: hunt efficiently, reproduce effectively, and exploit opportunity. Within intact ecosystems, the mink serves as a regulator rather than a destroyer. Its predation limits overpopulation, preventing disease outbreaks and resource depletion among prey species. By shaping population dynamics, it indirectly supports plant life, water quality, and overall biodiversity. Its role is quiet but essential. The mink's life is short by human standards. Few survive beyond several years in the wild. Predators, harsh winters, disease, and human interference claim many before maturity. Yet within this brief lifespan, the mink fulfills its purpose with relentless focus. There is no wasted movement, no unnecessary display. Survival is not celebrated, it is simply executed. Observing a mink in its natural habitat offers a rare glimpse into a form of existence stripped of excess. It does not build monuments, leave markings for admiration, or alter its environment beyond necessity. It moves through the world like a shadow with teeth, precise and temporary, leaving balance in its wake rather than chaos. As night settles and water reflects fragments of moonlight, the mink resumes its patrol. Each ripple, each scent, each sound carries information. Somewhere beneath the surface, a fish shifts. Along the bank, a rodent pauses. In these moments, the mink is fully aligned with its environment, neither dominant nor subordinate, but perfectly embedded within it. The story of the mink is not one of grandeur or spectacle. It is a story of margins, of boundaries where land meets water, where visibility gives way to intuition. It reminds us that nature's most effective designs are often the least obvious, and that survival does not always belong to the largest or loudest, but to those who master efficiency, restraint, and timing. Long after human footprints fade from the shoreline, long after structures erode and paths disappear, the mink will continue to move along the water's edge, unseen, unchanged, executing the same ancient patterns that have sustained it for thousands of years. Silent, adaptive, essential.